ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වරට SLT 4G වෙතින් දැන් Pure TV නරඹන්න. ඉදිරියටම ගෙන යන SLT 4G.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, real deal. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 infections double as the Cardinal calls for the suspension of masses. The government meanwhile assures that the situation is not bad.
Community transmission is there once pure local cases are established. None of them are pure local ones.
Yesterday, we opened another quarantine center depending on the requirement.
Think twice. WHO country representative urges not to harbour fears and panic over COVID-19 pandemic.
Misinformation and rumors leads to panic and fuels stigma and discrimination against people who have the disease.
Horror revisited. Counter-terrorism expert revisits the Easter Sunday attacks.
The government did not want to act to reform the religious space because they were so much dependent on the Muslim vote.
Say security wasn't among the top 3 priorities of the government.
We cannot have political stability without security, and we certainly cannot have economic progress without security.
All that and much more coming up on First at 9, this Saturday the 14th of March 2020.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9.
ඔය 69යි 97ට SMS කර රුපියල් මිලියන 3ක මුල් තැන්ගේ උපකරණ දිනාගෙන අවුරුද්දෙම කුස්සිය ටයිම් සේව් කරගන්න.
Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamke Kanayaka. The number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus COVID-19 in Sri Lanka doubled today, with 5 more people being detected with the virus, bringing the tally to 10. Even though the number of cases are on the rise, the government reassures that the situation is under control as they ramp up measures to prevent a possible outbreak of the deadly virus within Sri Lankan shores. Meanwhile, in a special statement, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa urges the people to not harbour any undue fears over the spread of COVID-19 as the government is fully geared to face every challenge.
103 people showing symptoms of the coronavirus COVID-19 are being treated at 14 hospitals in the island. From that, 8 persons have tested positive for the deadly virus. Among them are the 2 tour guides who were diagnosed with COVID-19 on Wednesday and Thursday, as well as 3 men whose infections were confirmed yesterday. Among the 3 individuals are a man who returned to the country following a tour in Germany and 2 others aged 37 and 43 who are under quarantine at the Kandakadu facility after arriving from Italy. The duo who arrived from Italy have driven 800 kilometers from Milan and had boarded a flight from Rome. Reports suggest that they have been ill at the time of the commencement of their journey.
We are very sure that there is no community transmission because now patient 2 and have all the contacts been covered because they also have been with their families. They have been, at least they spend some time with their families. So there will be from patient 2 and patient 3, at least we should have some contact.
The thing is, we have to understand in correct manner. Maybe transmission is underway. We say community transmission is there once pure local cases are established. None of them are pure local ones.
In the meantime, the 3 persons who were diagnosed with COVID-19 today were also identified as returnees from Italy, aged 42, 43 and 44. With the number of the virus infections in Sri Lanka slowly rising, a national office to combat the spread of COVID-19 is set to be established upon instructions of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
Yesterday's meeting with His Excellency the President and this National Corona Committee meeting, it was decided that a national office under His Excellency the President has to be established for very many reasons. Now it's not only confined to Health Ministry. So we need to synergistically we have to act. So therefore, it is essential that one office be established. So that is the office that will be functioning from Monday in Rajagiri. There will be representatives from various ministries and other stakeholders.
Meanwhile, 4 Polish nationals who were to return to their country from the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunaika this morning was admitted to the Infectious Diseases Hospital with symptoms of COVID-19. Elsewhere, the residence of the second local case of COVID-19 infection located in Colombo was disinfected by officials of the Colombo Municipal Council's Public Health Department. Meanwhile, 18 persons who arrived in Sri Lanka from Italy and Iran today were directed to quarantine facilities. Curbing the spread of the virus being of paramount importance, the Ministry of Transportation has provided passengers at the 4 railway station and bus stations with facilities to wash their hands. As part of the national COVID-19 arrest effort, security forces today began disinfecting buses and trains used for public transport. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Navy conducted a drill at the Colombo Fort premises yesterday to rehearse standard operational procedure that could be adopted in the event of transferring a patient suspected of being infected with COVID-19 from a ship to a hospital ashore and the process of quarantining a particular area on the land. The drill was performed in collaboration with the Suasaria Ambulance Service, Firefighting Unit of Colombo Harbour, Harbour Health Service and doctors from National Quarantine Unit. Meanwhile, Commander of Sri Lanka Army Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva shed light on the present quarantine process and the new facilities.
As of today, we are having 4 main quarantine centers. Of course, these 4 quarantine centers also have sub-quarantine centers, maybe not within the premises, but in and around that area. At Kandankadu, we have at Punani, we also have at Diyatalava. Diyatalava has got 2. Yesterday, we opened another one. Depending on the requirement, we had to open in Vaunia, Pompemadu area. As of today, we have about 1,700 Sri Lankans and foreigners getting quarantined inside these quarantine centers. Out of these numbers, we got 7 foreigners. 5 of them are from Korea and 2 of them came from Iran, but they are not Iranians. One is a Canadian citizen and another one is Australian citizen. All of them, although they had little difficulties, they were refusing to go to quarantine centers. By now, all are settled. They understand very well the importance of being quarantined. Some are asking even now, are they cooperating at the airport? Yes, they may not cooperate at the airport. We have to understand that they have traveled for long hours. Then going back to a quarantine center without that knowledge at that time, they would have had little difficulty. They would have refused that. But as of today, we don't have such a thing. Anyway, the government of Sri Lanka is very strict that we are not given anyone out. No one can refuse because we can't get other Sri Lankans who are in Sri Lanka to get affected because of 1 or 2 individuals. So therefore, they should know the responsibility that they are bringing. However, we have a system right now. We are monitoring all of them. They are living happily.
The Army commander also put to bed social media rumours pertaining to the quality of food served at quarantine facilities.
So we give them good food, reasonable, decent food, what we eat, and the best what we have given. So I think it's not time to see whether they have good food or not. Once the quarantine period is over, once they come out, I'm sure they will comment. They will tell what type of food we gave. So I'm sure that they are happy as of now.
With the temple of the sacred tooth relic in Kandy attracting thousands of devotees each day, certain measures are put in place from today for their protection. As part of it, a special Ayurvedic medicine is being used as a disinfectant.
දෝවනය කරගන්න මූණ සෝද ගන්න අවශ්‍ය ජල පහසුකම් සහ ඒ විස බීජ නාශක සබන් වැනි දය පළවෙනි අදියර හැටියට අපි සෑම පැතිවිදකම ලක් කරන්න කටයුතු කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉන් අනතුරුව පරීක්ෂා කිරීම වලින් සියලු පරීක්ෂා කිරීම සිදු කළා නැවත දළදා මාලිගාවට ඇතුල් වෙනකොට දේශීය වෛද්‍ය වට්ටෝරුවක් අනුව නිෂ්පාදනය කරනු ලැබූ විස බීජ නාශකයක් අපි සියලුම බැතිමතුන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවය පරිදි ඔවුන්ගේ දෑත් වලට යොමු කරනවා සහ අවශ්‍ය නම් මූණ පවා පිරිසිදු කරගන්න පුළුවන් පුළුවන් සනිපාරක්ෂක තත්ත්වයේ තියෙන දේශීය විෂ බීජ නාශකයක් අපි සෑම කෙනෙක්ටම ලබා දෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව දළදා මාලිගා පරිශ්‍රය තුල රැඳී සිටින විශාල වැදිමතුන් පිරිසක් ඉන්නවා. ඒ නිසාම අපි දේශීය පැරණි බෙහෙත් වට්ටෝරුවකට අනුව නිෂ්පාදනය කරනු ලැබූ දුම් වාහනයක් දළදා මාලිගා පරිශ්‍රය තුලම අපි සිදු කරලා තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, following a discussion with the Minister of Health, the Ministry of Health has decided to make urgent purchases for the control and treatment of coronavirus COVID-19. Accordingly, the minister has instructed to make necessary purchases within the next 2 days and distribute them among hospitals. In more measures to arrest the spread of COVID-19, the closure of all zoological and botanical gardens and national parks under the Department of Wildlife has been ordered starting from tomorrow. All cinema halls under the National Film Corporation are also closed until further notice upon instructions of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. In a special statement, the Prime Minister urged public to not harbour undue fears over the virus.
අපේ රටේ ජනතාවටත් මේ කොරෝනා වසංගතයෙන් බලපෑමක් එල්ල වී තිබෙන මොහොතක්. අපි දැන් මේ අභියෝගයට රටක් වශයෙන් මුහුණ දෙන්න ඕනේ. ජනාධිපතිතුමාත් රජයත් මේ වසංගතයට මුහුණ දෙන්න නිරන්තර අවධානයෙන් සූදානම් බව මා කියන්නවා. ජනතාවට අවශ්‍ය වෛද්‍ය හා සෞඛ්‍ය පහසුකම් අප්‍රමාදව ලබා දීමට අපට පුළුවන්. ඒ සඳහා අවශ්‍ය නිසි වැඩපිළිවෙලක් රජයට තිබෙන බව මම අවධාරණය කරන්න ඕනේ. රජය ඉතාමත් දැඩි අවධානයකින් කටයුතු කරන නිසා ඔබ මේ පිළිබඳ අනවශ්‍ය බියක් ඇති කරගත යුතු නැහැ. ඖෂධ සහ සෞඛ්‍ය පහසුකම් වගේම ඉදිරි මාස කීපයට රටට අවශ්‍ය ආහාර, ඉන්ධන, රෙදිපිලි ඇතුළු සියල්ල අප සම්පාදනය කරගෙන තිබෙන බව මා කිව යුතුයි. ඒ නිසා ලෝකයේම මුහුණ දී තිබෙන මේ වසංගත තත්ත්වය අමුයි අප ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ජාතියේ තිබෙන පරිණත බවක් දැනුමත් එකමුතුකම පෙරට ගත යුතු මොහොතක් මේ ජාතියක් වශයෙන් වෛද්‍ය උපදෙස් පිළිපදිමු. ඔබ රජය කිසිවක් ජනතාවට හංගන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා නොඑක් සමාජ මාධ්‍යයන් මගින් පතුරවන අසත්‍ය ප්‍රචාර කටකතා කෙරෙහි විශ්වාසය තබා කලබල වෙන්න එපා. රෝගියෙකු වාර්තා වූ විට ඔහු හා පවුලේ අය පිළිකුල් කිරීම, විරෝධය පෑම අපේ මනුෂ්‍යත්වයට ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ. අප ප්‍රතිකාර කරන රෝහල් රැඳුම් මධ්‍යස්ථාන තම ප්‍රදේශයෙන් ඉවත් කරන්නට යයි බලපෑම් කිරීම මනුෂ්‍යත්වයට ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ. එබඳු විපතක් සහෝදර රටවැසියෙකුට වූ විට තමා උපමාවටගෙන කටයුතු කරන්නේයි මා අදහන ආගමේ නාමයෙන් ඔබගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Now, with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa questioning the morality of repulsive behaviour of the people against patients diagnosed with COVID-19 and their families, Country Representative of the World Health Organization, Dr. Razia Pense, urges people to guard themselves against rumours and misinformation on the pandemic. She says that falling prey to misinformation leads to panic, which manifests in stigma and discrimination. Her remarks come as some people turned out at the Batticalow Hospital yesterday, where they remonstrated against a patient being admitted to the hospital with symptoms of COVID-19.
As it happens with any other infectious disease outbreaks, there is fear and anxiety. In this age of social media, misinformation and rumors spread faster than the virus. It leads to panic and fuels stigma and discrimination against people who have the disease. Misinformation, panic, fear, stigma, it helps no one. The best way to help yourselves, your loved ones and your family is to get the right information and spread that right information. Empower yourself with what needs to be done to protect yourselves and those around you. These are simple measures. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol rub. Cover your sneeze and cough. Either do it into your elbow or use a tissue paper. Discard the tissue paper safely into a closed bin. If you are sick, stay at home. If you are visiting a sick person, maintain a safe social distance of 1 meter or more. Or if you can, avoid visiting people who are sick. WHO is working with partners to get the right information out to the public. What we ask from you is to get this information, help us spread the right information, the correct messages, the correct things to do to protect yourselves, your families, and in this way, you will be actually helping the country protect its citizens, that includes yourselves, from this outbreak, and we will be able to respond to this outbreak in a much better fashion, as Sri Lanka has always done with other infectious diseases.
Now, Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, calls on the Catholic community as well as people of other faiths to come together as Sri Lankans and support the government's efforts geared towards curbing the spread of COVID-19. The cardinal encouraged the suspension of all religious events which require mass congregations as well as pilgrimages, as it would minimize the possible reach of the virus. His views came during a media briefing worked off at the Bishop's house this morning.
මම කතෝලික ජනතාවගෙන් විශේෂයෙන්ම ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා ඒ වගේම ගරු පියතුමන්ලාගෙන් රජය මේ COVID-19 පැතිර යාම වැළැක්වීම සඳහා ගන්නා හැම පියවරකදීම අපි කතෝලිකයන් හැටියටත් ඒ වගේම සියලුම ආගම් අදහන ශ්‍රී ලංකා පුරවැසියන් හැටියටත් සහයෝගය ලබා දීම ඉතා වැදගත් දෙයක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ වෙලාවේදී දේශපාලන මතිමතාන්තර ආගම් ජාති අනුව බෙදිලා කටයුතු කරන්නේ නැතුව අපි සියලුම දෙනා මේ රටට උදා විය හැකි භයානක තත්වයක් මගහරවා ගැනීමට සහයෝගයෙන් කටයුතු කළ යුතුයි කියලා ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. මේ චතාරික කාලය තුල සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි සංවිධානය කරන විශේෂ වන්දනා චතාරික වන්දනා ගමන් ඒ වගේම විශාල වශයෙන් ජනතාව එක්රැස් කර පවත්වන චතාරික මෙහෙයන් හා ප්‍රසිද්ධ සිද්ධාස්ථාන අලලා සංවිධානය වන වැඩසටහන් නැවැත්වීමෙන් මෙම කොරෝනා වෛරසය ව්‍යාප්ත වීම මර්ධනය කිරීම සඳහා අපට දිය හැකි උපරිම සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන්න කියලා මම සියලුම ඒ සිද්ධාස්ථානවල ඉන්න පියතුමන්ලාගෙන් සහ ඒ ගැන වගකිව යුතු අයගෙන් විශේෂ ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා. පාස්කු බෝම්බ ප්‍රහාරය විනාශයෙන් ආර්ථිකය බිඳ වැටුණා හොඳටම අපේ රටේ. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් එයින් යාන්තම් ගොඩ වේගෙන එනකොට මේ විනාශය අපිට උදා වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒකෙනුත් අපි කොහොම හරි අදිෂ්ඨානශීලීව ගොඩ එන්නට කටයුතු කළ යුතුයි.
We'll see you with more news on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now let's return to the COVID-19 pandemic. With a total of 149 countries battling the coronavirus, the total count on global infections now stand at 146,349, with 5,443 deaths across the world. As China experiences a downturn in the number of new infections, the country now faces a new problem. Despite its commendable containment efforts, figures show an increase in imported cases, surpassing the number of infections transmitted locally. Meanwhile, the world's largest economy, the United States, also declared a state of emergency, which gives the superpower access to $50 billion to fight the virus. Less than 2 hours ago, the United Kingdom, meanwhile, confirmed 10 new deaths, virtually doubling the country's COVID-19 death toll.
Since the outbreak of the coronavirus COVID-19 in mainland China and its perception as an issue localized to China, it took just 3 months for the virus to be declared a global pandemic, with COVID-19 expanding its reach to 149 countries. What's more, as of 4:35 p.m. Sri Lankan time, 5,443 people had fallen prey to the virus, with a global tally of 146,349 infections being confirmed. Although China still leads the list of country-specific COVID-19 related deaths with a total of 3,189 and 80,824 confirmed infections, the country has been experiencing a welcome downturn in virus infections and deaths in recent weeks. As the number whittled down to teens owing to an impressive containment effort, China, however, is facing another problem. New data shows that China's imported cases surpass the number of those locally transmitted. The country's National Health Commission confirmed 11 new cases, and of which 7 were all detected in travellers coming into China from overseas, specifically from Italy, the United States and Saudi Arabia. Italy, meanwhile, remains atop the list of infections outside mainland China. The country, now considered the COVID-19 epicenter of Europe, records over 17,500 confirmed infections, with the death toll passing 1,250. Iran is also close behind with 514 deaths and over 11,300 cases. South Korea, which showed an early spike in COVID-19 cases, however, is also looks to be attesting the situation, with the number of daily cases recording a drop along with fatalities. That said, 8,086 total infections are recorded from South Korea, while the total number of fatalities stand at 72. Meanwhile, Indonesia reported 27 more coronavirus cases, bringing the total number of confirmed infections to 96 in the Southeast Asian country. Cases were also found in several cities across the archipelago, including the capital Jakarta, some cities in western and central Java, Manado City on Sulawesi Island, and Pontianak on Borneo Island. The country also reported 5 new deaths. The Philippines reported 34 new coronavirus cases, bringing the total to 98, ahead of the implementation of quarantine measures in the capital Manila. It marked the largest single-day increase in confirmed cases in the Southeast Asian nation, which has 8 coronavirus deaths. In the meantime, the world's largest economy, the United States, joined ranks among the world's top 10 infected countries as it records a total of 2,329 coronavirus cases and 50 deaths. President Donald Trump declared a national emergency over the fast-spreading virus, opening the door to $50 billion in federal aid to fight a disease, which he said could have an even greater impact on the country. Trump on Wednesday ordered citizens from 26 European nations, excluding the UK, not to enter the United States for 30 days. His administration now says that it might add the United Kingdom and a couple of other countries to the list. Meanwhile, in New Zealand, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said that everyone entering the country from midnight on Sunday must self-isolate for 14 days in an effort to contain the spread of the novel coronavirus. Ardern went on to say that people from small South Pacific island countries which currently have no reported cases will be exempted. As of status quo, the country reports a total of 6 infections and no deaths. In the meantime, Saudi Arabia expanded its COVID-19 combat efforts to suspension of international flights. Its foreign ministry said that international flights will be suspended for 2 weeks in response to the coronavirus outbreak starting from tomorrow. The country has a total of 86 registered COVID-19 cases but no deaths. With the coronavirus focus shifting from China to Europe, the World Health Organization says that the continent has now become the epicenter of the pandemic.
Europe has now become the epicenter of the pandemic, with more reported cases and deaths than the rest of the world combined, apart from China. More cases are now being reported every day than were reported in China at the highest of its epidemic.
Now, in other stories, Professor of Security Studies at the S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies in Singapore, Rohan Gunaratne, says that the Easter Sunday attacks were made possible due to the forsaking of national security, as the then government made no effort to reform the religious space, owing to its heavy dependence on minority vote. Professor Gunaratne went on to put a premium on national security, saying that political stability and economic progress depend on it.
An event themed The Call for Humanity was worked off today with the launch of a book on Wahhabism and Sufism, authored by Maulavi Rafuldeen Jamaldeen. It was attended by counter-terrorism specialist Professor Rohan Gunaratne of the S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies, who delivered the keynote address on the Easter Sunday attacks.
Until this attack, within the Muslim community, there was disbelief. There was a terrorist network that was operating in Sri Lanka. There was neglect of national security. National security was not the first, second and third priority. Security is the foundation of social harmony. We cannot have political stability without security, and we certainly cannot have economic progress without security and that relationship. It's a very small group that mounted the Easter Sunday attack. But again, the impact, the devastating impact of that attack is so significant that every Muslim is today subject of suspicion by most Sinhalese. The government did not want to act to reform the religious space because they were so much dependent on the Muslim vote. Second is that the money and the riches that came from the Middle East influenced the Muslim leadership and also part of government leadership. Look at countries like Malaysia, look at countries like Singapore, look at countries where communities coexist with other communities. It is true that after Easter Sunday attack, Zahran's network was dismantled. But the radicalization pipeline that produced Zahran, it is still intact. So we will be producing a Zahran every year. The mosques, the madrasas, and international schools registered as societies. Internet sites have to be reformed. Radicalization has 3 phases. Phase 1 is exclusivism. Exclusivism is only Muslims should associate with Muslims. This comes from a phrase called al-wala wal-bara. Al-wala wal-bara is hatred to non-Muslims and loyalty to Muslims. Al-wala wal-bara does not apply here in this country. It spread to such an extent, even a well-known international school in Colombo, this school taught their students don't stand for the national anthem. So the second phase is when exclusivism provides the foundation for extremism. And extremism moves beyond that into terrorism, a very small percentage. In Sri Lanka, unfortunately, there is no Muslim institution to guide the destiny of the Muslim community. One is have the Sri Lankan national flag. It is because the version of Tawheed preached by Zaharan said, no national flag. He said, why do you want to respect a piece of cloth? That was what Zaharan said. Have the flag. Have it in your car. Have it in your house. Have it in your mosques. So with time we have to change. We have to understand the context of what happened. We are all Sri Lankans. So that friendship can be built by all of us.
Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed his secretary PB Jayasundara to devise a program that would grant locals the benefits of the declining fuel prices in the world market. The president's move was confirmed by the government sources. In the meantime, analysts forecast global crude oil prices to remain low as they are now for the foreseeable future. A fight between Russia and Saudi Arabia for market share coupled with the coronavirus outbreak has severely hit oil demand. A Reuters poll of analysts showed yesterday that oil prices will likely remain at current depressed levels for months amid a price war and the fight for market share while the coronavirus outbreak battered oil demand. According to 21 experts surveyed, West Texas intermediate crude prices are set to average $30.37 a barrel in the second quarter of this year and $37 for the full year. And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.